And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, a real estate and finance expert, and goes to bat for you every day as your consumer advocate. Your host, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day, committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around your real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, and over 80 other categories of consumer advocacy on the Consumer Quarterback Show and our second brand, the Real Estate Quarterback Show. And we all want to educate, entertain, enlighten in an effort to engage and help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, I want you to pull out your smartphone and save our Consumer Advocate Hotline number in your phone. It's 813-917-1894.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-917-1894. Don't forget our number. We also want you to bookmark realestateradiotampa.com. That's our website, blog site, a plethora of information available at realestateradiotampa.com. Click on the Expert Contributors tab. You can see all of our expert contributors, phone numbers, websites, and photos, as well as all of our listings from Platinum MVP Realty. And speaking of listings here, I got a couple of hot listings I want to touch on. I've got 13235 Gulf Boulevard, Madeira Beach. This is unit number 409. It's a two-bedroom, two-bath property in the Madeira Bay Resort 2 condo. Beautiful buying opportunity, great investment opportunity at only $239,000 for a beach condo here, a condotel. You walk across the street, you put your feet into the sugar sands of Madeira Beach. And this segment is brought to you by my health team, consisting of Michael Vogt. He's an expert massage therapist with Back in Health Massage, voted top 10 massage services in Tampa Bay, as voted by the Tampa Bay Business Journal's Best in the Biz Awards, as well as Ray Milton with Ray's Vegan Soul. He's my health chef. Ray Milton, find him on Facebook, Ray's Vegan Soul, where I'll hit you with the flavor is his tagline. Does an awesome job cooking these great meals for me, helping me maintain my health and have this awesome food set up for you as well. So we're here in studio live from iHeartRadio. It's your most important hour on the radio, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on 1250 Wins. On the weekends, we're also on 102.5 The Bone on the FM dial. And let's go around the horn here. We're going to go ahead and make our introductions. Back in studio, Michael Banner, reverse mortgage expert here in Tampa Bay. Welcome back.
Glad to be here, as always. It's been longer than usual.
Awesome. Yeah, a little break.
Yep.
And what's been going on?
Life is just good. The reverse mortgage is out there. It's happening. My goal of being here is the same as always, is we got to get the truth out there about this great product.
You can't handle the truth.
They can't. You're right. The world just can't handle the truth about reverse mortgages.
It's a great product. We're going to talk more about that with Michael Banner, our reverse mortgage expert contributor here. Back in studio as well, Connor Anthony, show producer and sometimes co-host on the show. Welcome in.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. It's good to be here, even though Kurt's in my seat today. It's a little weird being on this side of the studio.
You were late.
That's right.
So I took it.
Come on, man.
All right, a lot of fun here in studio. Also back in studio as well, Curt Lorden, expert contributor on forward mortgages here with Interlinc Mortgage here in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon. First off, where has Ray been? He has not hit me with a soul in a very long time, and I missed
the flavor, man.
No, he has not hit me with the flavor. And I thought we were going to have martinis this week. That's what we talked about last week, is having martinis in the studio.
I don't know. Maybe we got confused.
Yeah, maybe we probably did. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what we talked about. Today we're going to talk a little bit about, for those of you who think you cannot qualify for a mortgage, I'm going to tell you a couple different ways that you can look at qualifying for a mortgage so you can get off that fence and buy some of the great homes in the Tampa Bay area.
Yeah, we remove all the stress from the conversation, whether it's a reverse mortgage or a forward mortgage, and anything to do with real estate. We're going to make it a real simple process and remove all the stress.
Just to sleep, but now we're stressed out.
So it's your choice. So we're here in studio. Got some expert contributors. It's a real estate roundtable discussion, intelligent talk radio, and I've got some intelligent folks here in studio. And Connor's also going to be commenting on a movie that he just saw, and kind of talking about from a perspective of someone that's not in the industry versus myself, Curt, and Michael, being in the industry for so long, kind of seeing that perspective from the movie. I believe it was The Big Short. Is that right?
Yeah, with Brad Pitt and Ryan Gosling and all of them. It actually won the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay, or Best New Screenplay, one of the screenplays. But it was really good. But yeah, really, really interesting stuff.
And there's been a couple different types of movies built on that, or scripts that are written on that same type of.
Too Big to Fail.
Too Big to Fail is another one. Yeah. Tony Robbins wrote a book called Money Mastered the Game, and that actually prompted him. The greed associated with the whole mortgage meltdown, the Great Recession, as we're calling it, prompted Tony Robbins to do basically like a modern day Napoleon Hill. He went around and interviewed Ray Dalio, Warren Buffett, all these great business leaders, Steve Wynn of Wynn Resorts and Hotels, and he did a modern day Napoleon Hill's type of a story where it's called Money Master the Game. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We got Michael Banner here in seat 1. He's up first, and let's talk about one of the most misunderstood mortgage products of all time. It was invented by the Reagan administration back in the 80s, and it's it's a quality product. So let's talk about the reverse mortgage, and I think specifically for purchase, we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, there is the reverse mortgage has actually been around since the early 60s. But it was like the wild, wild west until Ronald Reagan in 1988 initiated what was known as the FHA reverse mortgage bill. And that's when FHA became part of it. But so many of the bad rumors, it's just there's so much misinformation and half-truths out there about reverse mortgages. And the truth of the matter is it's 1961 was the first reverse mortgage. So we're talking 55 years. And the truth of the matter is, until about 6 years ago, it truly was a very needs-based product of last resort. Oh my God, mom is broke. She has liquidated everything. We have to get one of those lousy, very expensive, which they were, reverse mortgages. But in April of 2010, HUD, because this is an FHA mortgage, HUD finally recognized this. Took them 22 years from 1988 to 2010, which for government work, 22 years is pretty quick. The average congressperson is 98 years old, so 22 years is nothing. And they ripped apart the reverse mortgage in April of 2010, put it back together, took out many of the junk fees, limited origination fees. About 15 months later, in 2013, they made more improvements again in 2014, and our most recent change was April 27th last year, 2015, where in the last 5 years, really and truly, the reverse mortgage has gone from a needs-based product of last resort to what many financial planners and academics truly feel might be the best retirement planning tool this country has ever seen. But you can't erase 50 years of bad reputation in just a few years. So
it takes time.
Yeah, and we're going to give a good example on my next round of what a purchased reverse mortgage is, because most people in the country, including the 2.1 million real estate people, don't realize there was another mortgage created as part of HERA, the Housing Economic Recovery Act, that actually created a hybrid of the reverse mortgage to purchase a house. You don't have to own a house. You can actually buy a house and have no payments for the rest of your life. It's a good thing.
Yeah, we're going to jump into,
and it's the truth,
and we're going to jump into some of the the ways that you can qualify, some of the age requirements, different things that are affecting that decision. And what I like about it when Michael comes in the studio as well as Curt, we talk about an overall comprehensive approach to working with borrowers or working with clients, and it's the one that you want the CPA talking to the financial advisor, talking to the reverse mortgage specialist, talking to the forward mortgage specialist, talking to the estate planning attorney, and you get the point. On and on and on. Curt, that's something you talk about a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you have to work together as a team. I mean, you look at a football team. Your defensive coordinator is going to talk to your defensive backs coach. Your defensive line. They're all going to work as a cohesive unit, which is what you need to have on your financial side. If you have mitral valve prolapse, which is a slight heart condition, that doctor has to talk to your dentist. You have to have actually medication to do any dental work.
Right.
That's the type of going back and forth and sharing information that needs to happen on your financial life.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a great point. You have all of these different components of life, and how long has it been since you've got a review of your financial plan? That's one thing we talk a lot about as well. Is Michael Lisenko? He's our safe money coach, and he talks about the fact that he's a fiduciary. A lot of these so-called wealth advisors running around out there, they're not a fiduciary. They may not have they may be great people, but they get paid more for certain products that they sell, and that's important to sit down and find out that. It's important to find out, will a reverse mortgage be a good decision? Maybe if you're selling a home from up north and you're coming down to Florida. We're going to touch on that with Michael Banner, reverse mortgage expert here on the Real Estate Quarterback Show. And I'm also going to get Connor Anthony and Curt Lorden weighing in about this movie, Too Big to Fail, and some of the things happening and where we're at now. Not only, reflecting on what the problem was, but we always want to bring it around full circle and find out, what's the solution? What can we do moving forward? How can we live a better life and think a layer deeper, making you more street smart here on the Real Estate Quarterback Show. So stay with us. The best is yet to come. Do not touch that dial. Intelligent Talk Radio, and more from our experts here in studio. So stay with us. Also, former Buccaneers coach Greg Schiano sells Tampa home for near record, Hillsborough County record. Stay with us. The best is yet to come. RealEstateRadioTampa.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Real Estate Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty. and a top listing agent in Tampa Bay. This segment is brought to you by Smart Move Moving and Storage, the official moving partner of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Say hello to Hannah and Chris over there at Smart Move Moving and Storage. They do a great job on our real estate moves, as well as a shout out to Target Surveying. They do a great job on surveying some of our real estate properties. Give a shout out to Shane Price over at Target Surveying. And we're back here in studio live from iHeartRadio, beautiful South Tampa here, talking with Michael Banner, reverse mortgage expert. Also Connor Anthony, show producer in studio, as well as Curt Lorden, branch manager of Interlinc Mortgage. And one of the things, too, with the marketplace when we think about it is there is a severe lack of inventory. There's not many houses on the market. There's not many residential properties available, whether it's a townhouse, condominium. So if you're a seller out there, if you're on the fence about potentially selling, we want to help you with that process and that decision. It's a decision and it's a process. So what we want to do is offer you a free comparable market analysis. Basically the same thing you pay $500 for an appraisal, we're going to give it to you for free. So for the first 5 listeners who text in, we're going to give you a free comparable market analysis. Or let's also do a free financial blueprint. I think, Curt, you had a great point between the break, is if you want to get a free financial blueprint and find out where your strategy's at, where you might be lacking, reach out for the financial blueprint as well at 813-917-1894.
Welcome to my house.
813-917-1894. Text value or financial blueprint, and we're going to take care of you on that. Compliments of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Before we jump back into this great content, again, Intelligent Talk Radio, we've got a real estate roundtable discussion happening here with the Real Estate Quarterback Show. I got a couple of hot properties I want to pitch here, kind of give you a sample of the 33609 zip code here in Tampa Bay. It's in Beach Park, right here in beautiful South Tampa, 414 South Royal Palm Way in Tampa Bay. Beach Park home, 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 2 half bath, over 4,800 square foot living, listed at $1.195 million. It's basically the best buy opportunity in 33609 if you're looking for something around 4,800, 5,000 square feet or so. And it steps away from Swan Park. It's got a beautiful, beautiful architectural style. It's got that historical feel. Huge backyard with an estate-style pool. And also, right around the corner from it in the same zip is 4618 West Beach Park Drive, Tampa. 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 1 half bath, over 2,556 square feet heated, and listed at $799,000. Immaculate, beautiful pool home here, well kept, and it's clean, nice, beautiful buying opportunity here in lovely Tampa Bay.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump back into it. Michael Banner, reverse mortgage specialist. Let's go ahead and give them the breakdown of, let's say you have a relative that's going to be moving from Pennsylvania or Michigan, right? We see that scenario play out a lot. And they may not want to utilize as much funds and stay liquid. There's a product that you have that will help them do that.
Yeah, the purchase reverse mortgage is a very far-reaching product. It came out at a perfect time. I'm going to give you like a 30-second spiel and then give you a real example.
Yep.
2008 through 2011 or 12, the Great Recession that you referred to, and that affected everybody of every age. But if you're a senior, it had a much different effect.
Right.
If Curt or I lost money during that time, which I'm sure we did, I know I did, then we can...
You have no idea.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we can compare. But you know what? We had the ability to go out the next day, write another mortgage, you or I, make money, provide for our family.
Yep.
You were probably suffering,
Yep.
You could, Brandon, you could sell another house. I don't know what you would do. You probably.
I was 15 in high
Yeah,
school, so I
would
just kind of kept going to school and didn't drop out.
So he could mow another lawn.
Connor would just ask for a raise in his allowance. So it's a little easier.
Well, my allowance got cut, so I guess we all had to suffer, make sacrifices.
There you go.
But now let's come to today.
Yeah.
The recession for at least real estate in Florida has been over for close to 2 years. Houses are appreciating. Life is good. But if you're getting ready to move to Florida, the retirement capital of the country, if not the world.
Yep.
The average age of a person in Florida is, what, Curt, 106, 107?
Something like
that. I mean, it's unbelievable. And you're coming here, but you know what? If you're coming from Pennsylvania or Michigan, like you said, that's not Florida. Those houses haven't recouped like ours have.
Right.
So no matter who you are, maybe when you made your retirement plan 5 years ago, and I'm going to sell that house for $400,000, I'm going to move to Florida, I'm going to buy a $400,000 house, and I'm going to have I'm going to have my dream retirement home and no payments.
Yep.
That's the American dream for retirement. But they didn't sell the house in Michigan for $400,000. They sold it for $300,000.
Yep.
So now suddenly there's $100,000 less. And I'm sorry, their portfolio, that probably took a hit, 2008 through 2. So are we retiring with X in the bank, or are we retiring with half that X in the bank? Again, but they're retired. They're not us. They don't go out the next day and go, I'll work, I'll replenish. They're in retirement. So now they come to Florida, and quite frankly, tens of thousands of people per year, and they settle for a little less than they wanted. Again, but in retirement mode, that's a really sad statement. So enter the HECM for purchase, which is commonly referred to as the purchase reverse mortgage. If you're in your mid-60s, let's go with that, because most people are retiring not at 62 anymore because nobody can afford to do that, more in their mid to upper 60s. But let's just say both borrowers are 65 years old. In a purchase reverse mortgage, you have to put down 50%. Everybody, I know your listeners are gasping, but most seniors are coming down here to try and pay cash.
Yep.
So, a young first-time home borrower, they can barely get 3.5% up. They have to get a gift from mommy. But the senior, this is okay. So they come to you and they go, look, Brandon, show us houses in Tampa, nice neighborhood for $300,000.
Yep.
And because we just sold our house for $300,000, and that's what we're going to do, the American dream. And you show them the first house, and you show them the second house. Oh, it looks a little old. Kitchen needs remodeling. You show them they're just not excited. Now you know you're going to sell them something.
Yep.
Okay, they have $300,000, and they're going to settle for something, but it's not their dream retirement home. So since you know this product well, you take them to a $400,000 house. And then what happens when they walk in the front door?
Oh, they're excited.
Oh my God, this is what we anticipated.
Yep.
This is what we hoped we'd have our retirement in. My God, Brandon, can you get this for me for $300,000? Your reply is?
I can't get it to you for that, but
Yes,
let me
yeah,
get you in touch with Michael Banner.
Yes, that's the perfect reply. But be that as it may, what if we could get you this $400,000 house? Well, I don't want any payments.
Right.
You won't have any payments.
Yep.
I'm not taking another $100,000. These are not poor people. That's a myth about reverse mortgage. Are reverse mortgages for poor people? These people paying $300,000 cash. I don't think they're poor people.
Right.
All right. No, I don't want to take $100,000 out of my retirement account. My financial planner said don't do that.
Right.
Well, let me talk to you about the purchase reverse mortgage. Now let's just go 45 days into the future because we all have a limited amount of time here. And you're at the closing. You purchased a $400,000 house.
Yep.
They were both 65 years old. So what we've accomplished 4 things. Number one, they didn't settle for that other house.
Right.
You literally sold them their dream retirement home, which is going to get you so many referrals because you're their favorite real estate person in the world. You did this for them. So that's number one. We've achieved the goal of their dream retirement home. Number two, since it's a reverse mortgage, we've achieved their goal of no monthly payment for the rest of their life. But let's look at number 3. When they met you, Brandon, 45 days ago, they were going to write a check for $300,000.
Yep.
They only had to put up 50% of the $400,000. They came to closing with $200,000.
Yep.
Do they have an extra $100,000 to go back to their financial planner and say, here, let's make up a little for the losses that we took?
Yep. Back into their growth account.
This is life-changing.
Yeah.
All right, but there is a fourth one because I know a lot of your listeners are your competitive real estate agents. What's the fourth advantage?
More commissions for the real estate
I'm
agent.
sorry, your commission is based on a $400,000 sale rather than 3. So
Right.
we just increased the realtor's commission by 25%.
Beautiful.
The truth of the matter is we did right by the client, morally, ethically, gave them their dream retirement home. They have no payments, and the realtor made more money. What a country.
It's a win-win all the way around.
As screwed up as this country is, it's still the greatest country in the history of history.
Yeah.
What a country. Only in America. Could
Absolutely.
You do this.
You know, we
Just
live in
channeling Don King right now. Only
in America. We live in the greatest time of prosperity in perhaps the world. You know, the amount of information is doubling, tripling every shorter amount of times. The cost of technology is coming down. There's so many reasons to be so happy and grateful where we're at. And it's a great point you make there with the reverse mortgage. We want you reaching out to Michael Banner for a reverse mortgage. If you happen to know of anybody out there that might be interested in at least sitting down for a free consultation, he'll make house calls, go to your office, or you can meet him at his office in Clearwater. Go ahead and text reverse now to 813-917-1894. If you're the type of person that you want to take action when you hear a good idea, text reverse now to 813-917-1894, and we'll get you in touch with our expert contributor, Michael Banner. Again, you can also check out everybody on our partnerships card at realestateradio.tampa.com. Just click on the expert contributors tab, check out his website, give him a call, schedule time at your own leisure. And when we come back, we're going to talk about former Buccaneers coach Greg Schiano sells Tampa Bay home for near record, and also more from Curt Lorden and Connor Anthony. Stay with us. The best is yet to come. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradio.tampa.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Brandon Rhymes, your host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, also the owner of Platinum MVP Realty. And if you're a business owner out there, I want to talk to you a minute here about our on-air branding package. It's an opportunity to come on air and be featured as an authoritative expert live on our radio and TV show. And also, we're going to give you the video content, MP3s, that you can utilize as legacy content on all of your social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, all the different sites, Google Plus, and repurpose that on your website as well. Invites to all of our monthly gratitude parties, and you also have an opportunity to become a published author in the next edition of our Consumer Advocate Playbook, and of course a lot of extra incentives as well. But I'm holding up a copy. If you're watching our live stream, you can see the copy of the Real Estate Quarterback's Consumer Advocate Playbook, an opportunity for you to become a published author. That way, when you're going out there and meeting with your clients, you're going to hand them a copy of your book instead of just your business card. So it's all a function of becoming an authoritative expert in your space. And of course, we're going to have to interview you for this opportunity. It's a limited opportunity, but we'd love to hear from you at our hotline at 813-917-1894.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
All right, and we also have a couple of hot real estate listings here in Tampa Bay. I've got a commercial opportunity here, 8203 U.S. Highway 301 South in Riverview. It's located just right close to the Alafia River here, and it's in Hillsborough County. 8203 U.S. Highway 301 South, 30 parking spaces. It's over a half an acre, 2,200 square foot building, $650,000 for this buying opportunity at the corner of 8203 U.S. Highway 301 South in Riverview, and also have a vacant parcel of land. It's the last remaining lot that's available in Bayside. It's in Bayport community here, Bayside East, revised at 5603 East Longboat Boulevard in Tampa. It's in the 33615. You've got a waterfront view across the street. In the rear of the property, you actually have a preserve, so there will never be a backyard neighbor. And you're surrounded by, $500,000 properties, $700,000, $800,000 properties and up, in this beautiful opportunity at only $189,000 for this vacant piece of land. So please check out the website and give us a call if you're interested in that. And we'd love to talk to you about it. So let's go ahead and switch gears now. Let's go to Curt Lorden, and I want to bring Connor Anthony in as well. And I know Connor just watched the Big Short movie, and Curt, we've seen it as well. So what say you, man?
Well, I've seen the movie a lot. What'd you think, Connor?
Interesting. It was something I've never, because during that whole time span that was going on, I was in middle and high school, so I obviously had no idea what. So I just knew the economy crashed, but I wasn't really quite sure, and even now I wasn't.
Not at the level of which it crashed.
Well, just like there was a scene and I thought was amazing where they were talking about these mortgages they're putting together, and they had a chef basically comparing the mortgages they're putting together from when he would take fish that didn't sell and just remake into a chowder and sell it later. Basically, just saying we're just cutting up mortgages that aren't selling, throwing them into this melting pot, and just being here, have at it.
Yeah. And whoever got sick, who cares?
Yeah, no, it was insane. So I thought it was interesting having mortgage guys in here, the kind of living through that as a mortgage guy and the kind of heat you were probably taking for a good 4 or 5 year span.
Yeah, I definitely took the heat on that. I wasn't part of the problem, but yeah, we experienced. We lost. I personally, went through a foreclosure, bankruptcy, all of that. When the market crashed, I had my own mortgage company, and I was forced to shut it down because of the things that other people did. When you get to a point where you become greedy and you step over that line, if you throw a rock into a pond, there's a ripple effect. And these large banks, I'm not going to name them, but they became so greedy they didn't realize who they were hurting, and they were hurting not only the American person, but they were also hurting people in their own industry. And we talk about supporting the local lender, and why we've already bailed these big banks out. Why give them any more money?
Yeah.
For an eighth of a point of interest rate and really crappy service. It's like buying, maybe Little Caesar's pizza, Josh. You got it for $5, but I guarantee your belly hurts.
So that was $5 worth.
He said he won't name them, but you know who they are. You drive around. They took all that bailout money and they bought basically every single corner of the roadways that they can. They're the big banks on the corner. You know who they are. We don't have to name the names because they're the guys that took the bailout money. And it's another reason why Congress has a 10 or 12% approval rating. We're fed up as American people. We are fed up with this cronyism and kickbacks and the greed that's associated with a lot of things. And then they're going to paint the picture, oh, well, we came in and we cleaned it up. That's what gets me, too, is they let someone like a Barney Frank, bumbling Barney Frank, they let him come back and basically write the Dodd-Frank. So they let a main contributor of the problem, one of the people that were the main contributors of deregulation and allowing this stuff to happen, they let him put his name on the bill when it came back, and he supposedly cleaned it all up.
No, and as a consumer, you look at yourself and you're like, well, how, how does this become my problem? Well, the reality is if you line yourself with a great mortgage consultant, what we do for a living is we manage liabilities. You talk about, can the Big Short ever happen again? It could, but it won't if you work with someone that's going to give you, sound financial information. Give you an example. I was sitting at my favorite sushi restaurant, and I was speaking to a lady that went through a refinance. She had like a $450,000 house or whatever. She had a 15-year that she had 4 years in. She refinanced back out to a 30 because she couldn't afford the payment because her taxes were so high. And I asked her, I said, well, how much do you get on your tax refund? And she told me. So why don't you just stay at the 15, eliminate your escrows, which is what you pay your taxes and insurance on a monthly basis, use your tax refund to pay it every year.
Yeah.
Now you're not spending over, $2.5 million for your home because you went back out to a 30. We talk about this thing called a debt elimination date. And we do this from the initial consultation when you get a pre-approval on a purchase is, what are your goals? How are we going to get you debt-free by the time that you retire? Then, if you're debt-free when the time you retire, if you want to buy an additional house, you can use a purchase reverse mortgage, and everyone's happy. And you can still invest in real estate and do all this, that, and the other. But it's really important to work with someone that actually goes through every layer of that financial onion, because if not, you're going to end up in spending way too much money. And you talk about a financial blueprint. If you don't have assets, you probably have liabilities. Get someone to manage those liabilities, because if you lessen that, you can start to create assets.
Yeah, it's all about time value of money. The hard-earned dollar that you build up, you work so hard for. If you invest it properly, if you position yourself, whether it's a liability so there's so many things you can do. And when I was talking about the Barney Frank and the Dodd-Frank, you had a point.
Well, I'm sure Curt will agree with this. I mean, it's bad enough bumbling Barney, created this and then put his name on Dodd-Frank, but they then revamped all the mortgage rules to make it more difficult. And quite frankly, the mortgage industry needed it.
Yep.
But as soon as they created rules to make mortgage people more honest, and that was needed, they did a federal exemption to all the big banks in the country.
Right.
We have to adhere to these all new rules. We have to be licensed by a new national mortgage licensing service, which I'm all for.
Yep.
We have to do all these things.
Yep.
But the federal banks, which I'm not as polite as you two, I will name them, Countrywide, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Regions Bank, if you work for them, you don't need a mortgage license.
Yeah, isn't that fair?
Yeah, let me just get you that savings account. Let me get you that, safe deposit box. Oh, you need a mortgage? I can do that too.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
And that's why we are. It's just amazing. You talk about an example of our government, right? The thieves, the crooks are exempt from the rules that Curt and I live by.
Yeah, and it was all a purpose of being able to track the person that wrote the mortgage to have them registered, to be able to track it, kind of like you're tracking with a driver's license.
It's almost like taking guns away from the good people. It's just dumb.
If you just joined us, you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. We got Michael Banner, reverse mortgage expert, here in studio. We'd also have Connor Anthony as our show producer, and Curt Lorden, branch manager of Interlinc Mortgage. So, what else, Curt? What are you seeing, man?
Well, whatever happened to my music? I went from Mortgage Maverick music.
Yeah.
Regulate any stealing of his property. We're damn good, too. But you can't be any geek off the street.
I like it.
I get out of the office for 30 days, I lose my tagline. Well, we talk about, investment and equity and this, that, and the other. And nationally, over the past 12 months, our homes have gained over $260 billion of equity. Now, that's nationwide. Now, at this point, it's just fairy dust. It doesn't exist unless you actually utilize it, which is take out some money, put it in the put it back in the market, take it out, pay off some debt, or take it out and buy some additional real estate that's still appreciating anywhere from 4 to 10%, depending on where you're sitting in the nation.
Yep.
We talk about this thing called a household interest rate, which is the aggregate amount of interest that you pay, on all of your debt, and it'll be in one of the chapters of the book that's going to be published, is talking about how to create that financial blueprint, make sure that your assets are outweighing your liabilities, and hit that debt elimination date. So if you're sitting there with equity, buy an additional home, take the equity out. Rates are still at a historical low. Refinances are at one of their highest, where purchases are dipping a little bit, and that has to do with some of the millennials and fears and stuff like that, which we can talk about in a little bit. But just make sure that you're utilizing what you have. Get with your financial planner, get with your CPA, get with me to make sure that you're maximizing your efforts and not just wasting money. No one likes to waste money.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of that, if you're out there renting and you're on the fence of home ownership, that's a way of wasting money. You're paying your landlord's mortgage. Yeah, sure, you get to live somewhere, but if you're paying rent, you're missing the opportunity to own an asset, to build up that appreciation, to pay down that debt. That difference is actual buildup of wealth to you that you can access through a cash out refinance or a home equity line. So text rent and the amount of rent that you're paying to our hotline at 813-917-1894. We'll get you in touch with Curt and his team, and they're going to put together a rent versus own analysis for you, break down the numbers, show it to you plain and simple English on paper. Text rent to 813-917-1894. And when we come back, former Buccaneers coach Greg Schiano sells Tampa home for near record. And stay with us. The best is yet to come. You're listening to a Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradiotampa.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Real Estate Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty. This segment is brought to you by the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties, and they have a 24-hour, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Shout out to the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a great job. Come in and out. 4 fine and folks are in and out of the home. They leave it looking good and smelling good, and you're back to work at your home office if you do work from home. And before the break, we were talking about the former Bucks coach Greg Schiano sells Tampa home for near record, and we're going to tell you what it is. It's a $6.6 million sale. That is the second in Hillsborough County only to a Bel Air Beach mansion that was sold some time back. So former Tampa Bay Buccaneers coach has sold his Colbert Isles home for $6.625 million, the second biggest residential sale in Hillsborough County history of Hillsborough County. And it was a 10,850 square foot mansion that he sold in that was built in 2013, the same year that the Bucs fired him and general manager Mark Dominic after a 7-9 season. So it's purchased by a land trust with Tampa attorney Robert S. Walton as trustee, and an all-cash deal, which closed last week, is the second only to the $6.75 million sale 5 years ago of a Bayshore Boulevard mansion. Several Bay Area homes have topped $5 million. And also there's been a penthouse in downtown St. Petersburg that sold for $6.9 million, record for a Bay Area condo. So, yeah, just kind of a testament there. Shows you how, Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, great place to live, work, and play.
No shoes, no shirt, and no problem.
And speaking of $1 million listings, I've got a $1 million listing right here at 249 Dogwood Trace in Tarpon Springs. This is $1.15 million, 4 bedrooms, 4 bath, over 5,485 square feet, available. Compliments of Victor Alleman with Platinum MVP Realty. 249 Dogwood Trace, Tarpon Springs. Beautiful buying opportunity in the Oak Hill Acres Estates. Great buying opportunity. So, Curt, let's go back to you. Let's talk a little bit more about the renter side.
Yeah, so a study came out, the confidence in homeownership with millennials and first-time home buyers or renters essentially has been waning considerably. We're down to basically, 60% roughly, where 4 to 5 current homeowners and anyone above 55 think it's a phenomenal time to buy. Reason being is they currently have equity. They know that they have buyers on hand where they can take out, when they sell their house, they're going to have the money to put down. The buyers are going to be there. Whereas the millennials and the first-time home buyers, will lump them together. They're seeing stiffer competition, a bunch of different contracts. They may not think that they qualify, and they're just simply working, basically what I said before, they're working with the wrong people. So if you even want to ever buy a home anytime between now and the end of your life, get a consultation, get a pre-qual, get an understanding of what you need to do.
Yeah, because one of the main things that we see